personally, hanging like with this person and that person, trying to keep up with these people and this friend group and that friend group, it's like I can't deal. That does not even fit my personality. I would legit get annoyed. Hey guys, I'm back with another video. If you are new to this channel, I'm Nicole. Welcome to my channel. This is the place where I honestly love to just have like talks, discuss topics, and I'm also into fashion, beauty. I love sharing my current favorites. It's like the bestie vibe. So feel free to subscribe and join my channel. Okay, so what I want to share today are things that I've learned in my 20s. As I mentioned in my last video, I just had a birthday. I turned 28, so I'm exiting my 20s very slowly, but I'm exiting my 20s pretty soon. In 2 years, I'll be 30. Okay, so the first thing that I will say is that I have really learned how important it is to prioritize wellness and caring about yourself. The food you eat, exercise, just overall wellness for your well-being, that is so important. So important to like grasp that in your 20s and go ahead and get into good habits, good routines, good eating habits, you know, exercising and working out and like keeping up with yourself. A lot of people try to like start doing these things when it's too late. They realize like the issues later on down the road after it's caused them so many issues, and then it's too late because they've gotten older and it just doesn't really have the same effect, if that makes sense. So thrive now in your 20s and take care of yourself. Just prioritize wellness. I still like to indulge in junk food and have like cheat days, of course. I actually live by the 80-20 lifestyle, which means that 80% of the time you indulge in healthy foods and nourishing foods, and then the other 20% you enjoy not so healthy foods. It's like a healthy balance, and it's still good to live life. Like, it's still good to eat the foods that you love. It's all about balance. Another thing I've learned in my 20s is that life is not going to always pan out the way you thought it would. I had this whole little like visual of the way I thought my life was going to be when I was younger. Like when I was exiting high school, I had a whole visual of how I thought my life was going to be. And turns out my life did not end up like that at all. I used to think that I was going to be married by now, have a child. I used to think I was going to be doing this and this and this, but I had no idea that I was going to be faced with some of the things that I was faced with that had an effect on my life. Is my life great? Yes, my life is amazing, but it is different than the way that I thought it would be. I have a disorder which prevents me from having children, and I have other issues as well with my health and my body that prevent me from birthing a child. I would have never like known about that or thought that was going to happen when I was 20 years old or like 19 years old. Everything doesn't always pan out the way you thought it would. The next thing I've learned is caring what people think is stupid, and it's honestly a waste of time. Why are we caring about what other people think? They have nothing to do with what we're doing in our life. Honestly, who gives a crap? I used to be that way with my content. I used to not post certain things because I was embarrassed. I used to be like, you know, people will think I'm cringe or they're gonna think I'm weird. But now I don't hide my personality. I am fully myself, and I could care less what people think. It's still a work in progress. Like sometimes I do have moments where I'm like, you know, getting that feeling, kind of feeling like, you know what I mean? I have learned that caring what people think will hold you back. Okay, the next thing is there's going to be times where you feel like you don't know what you're doing, and there's going to be times where you feel lost. What am I doing? What's going on in my life? Your 20s is the time where like everybody feels like they have to figure all this major serious stuff out. Getting married, having kids, where you're gonna live, what job you're gonna have. Our 20s is the span of time where everybody feels like they have to have those things figured out. Like they have to have that in order, and then if it's not in order or it's not going the way they want or as fast as they want, they start to feel like lost or like confused. Honestly, there's no layout, there's no specific blueprint as to what it's supposed to look like, because you never know what's going to happen in life. This has been something that I've dealt with. Also, our 20s is the time where we're trying to figure ourselves out, we're trying to learn ourselves, we're trying to discover ourselves, we're trying to like really learn who the heck we are, because I know I've had a bunch of changes in my 20s. I'm not who I used to be when I was 21, 22, 23. One of my next things is like really big. Having humbleness and humility is major. You do not know everything. Like there's people in your life who have been through a lot more than you, and they can help you. And like listening to people and being able to take in what other people have to say is key. A lot of people don't want to listen. They're not good at receiving like help or advice. Soak in guidance and advice. So it's important in that aspect, and it's also important in the aspect of like being able to say you're sorry, being able to admit that you're wrong, being able to admit your faults. Like that helps you grow as a person, and it makes you very respectable, and it can help your relationships and just help you in life in general. Next is never stop doing what you love. Never stop doing what you love. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're creative, do not stop doing what you love to create. Like me, for example, I'm a content creator. Do I have 10,000 followers on Instagram yet? No, I don't. It doesn't matter, because I'm doing what I love and what makes me happy. It fills me with joy to even talk to my camera and know that it's gonna reach somebody. It's gonna inspire somebody. It's gonna help somebody. It's gonna be like relate to somebody. That's what I enjoy. I've been like creating since I was 16. I started when I was on Vine making silly videos with my friends. So it's just in me. But this is not just for content creating, this is for anybody. If you're an artist, it doesn't matter what you do. If it's something that you love, keep doing it and don't give up. And then later on down the road, if those benefits start flowing in from it, that's great, because you never gave up. The next thing I learned in my 20s, which was a huge one, huge for me. Everybody is not meant to come with you in every chapter and season of your life. That could be friends, that could be family, that could be someone that you were in a relationship with. Everybody's not meant to come with you in every chapter of your life. And that can be hard sometimes, because sometimes these can be people that you genuinely love. Like you love these people, like you want them to be in your life forever. You want them in every chapter, every season. You want to talk to them all the time. Like they are just so important to you, and you can't imagine life without them. But sometimes the hard thing is like some people are just not meant to come into every chapter of your life. Some of them are friends or associates that I've had. Some of them are people that I still say hey to. It's no bad blood, but you're not close in my life the way you were. You're not allowed to be in as much as I used to allow you in, because you showed me that I can't let you in like that. Because some people, if you keep letting them in to every chapter of your life, you're gonna realize that your life is gonna continue to be poisoned or tainted or just kind of like disrupted in certain ways. And then you're sitting there wondering why. Like, why does this keep happening? Or why is this? Because of the people that you keep allowing in. From my personal experience, I have been, around certain people. They just didn't want to grow in the same direction that I wanted to. But it's like at some point we have to evolve, and we have to like level up, and we have to grow. They just want to stay the same and do the same things and be in the same area as far as like their mentality. And that's just never gonna work if that's not what you want to do. So sometimes you have to just like love people and wish them the best from a distance. And that doesn't always mean that you just like cut everybody completely out of your life, but they just can't come into, the next chapters of your life the same as they were before. And this brings me into my next lesson, which is never question why things don't work out or why things were removed from your life. All of that stuff happens for a reason. If somebody is removed from your life and they're no longer in your life, or something didn't work out, it could be anything. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, a friend, or whatever. Like, if it was removed or if it didn't work, it was for a reason. Because if it was meant for you, it would have stayed and it would have worked, and it wouldn't have happened that way. Everything that I had in my life, as far as like relationships, people, friends, whatever, y'all, they needed to go. Like, I don't mean this in a mean, like negative way, but I'm glad they're not in my life anymore, because it would have held me back from all the blessings and the good things that I have now. I would have never met the love of my life, like my best friend, a man that actually loves me and cares about me like fully. Sometimes people get tired of like the little cliche sayings and phrases like, oh, everything happens for a reason. That's true though. Everything does happen for a reason. If that person walked out of your life, let them go. If that person is treating you like crap and they're forcing you to walk out of their life, then walk out. It's for a reason. Okay, so this next lesson, honestly, this is one that makes me a little bit emotional. I'm not gonna get emotional on camera. I'm not gonna like boohoo and cry in front of you guys because I've done that several times, like off camera. I'm not even gonna lie. But this one is like real. And this one will hit you in your late 20s, like early 30s even. Life does not slow down, it keeps going. Like some of the ways that I've noticed that is I'm obviously getting older. So that also means that the people around me that I love are getting older as well. My parents, my grandparents, family members, like people that I love are also getting older. You know what I mean? And it's like a reality check. Our grandparents are getting older. Like if you still are blessed to have your grandparents, as you're getting older, they're getting older too. As I'm getting older, my parents are also getting older, and it's like you start seeing age on people around you that you love, and it's not always easy because it's like you've been so used to seeing them in this young form, you know, growing up, but then you start getting older and then you start seeing the age on people around you that you love, and it can be kind of like, it just starts to make you think, you know? And it makes you realize life is not stopping. We can't stop the clock. As much as I would love to just stop the clock sometimes, we can't do that because time and age is continuing to go. Life does not stop when we face hardships, when we face loss or tough things in our life. Me personally, I have faced depression, like really dark, horrible, painful depression, the worst. But when I was going through that, life didn't stop. Life continued to go. My family had to keep going on. I had to keep going on. Life doesn't stop, even though sometimes you feel like you want it to. It just doesn't stop. That's also something that I really had to like grasp and realize. And I learned that in my 20s is life keeps going, period. It doesn't matter the circumstance. It doesn't matter if you're going through heartbreak, if you're going through some sort of pain, some sort of mental health struggle that's like very severe, a painful loss, like life keeps going, and so does everybody around you. The next thing I learned is being lonely does not equal loneliness. A lot of people get that confused and they feel like because they're loners or because they stay to themselves or because their life is not some big social movie, they feel like they're lonely. I honestly used to feel that way. I used to think that until I reached a point in my 20s and in just like growth and maturity. I really loved being alone. I honestly wasn't lonely because I had myself, I had my own company, I had things that I loved doing, I had my hobbies, I had my passions, I had all the things that I enjoy doing by myself, so I wasn't lonely. I do understand that some people do like genuinely feel lonely and they have like a super lonely life. I understand that there's different situations and different feelings that people can have. There is a such thing as like truly being lonely. I totally get that. And I felt that myself. I guess the point I'm trying to make is being by yourself doesn't always have to mean that you're just like sulking in this lonely feeling. Because in this life, we have to be enough for ourselves. We have to, I don't know, like satisfy ourselves. We have to be enough for us. We have to enjoy our own company. And we have to learn to love to be with ourselves. We have to learn to be content with our own company first. A lot of people are not happy with themselves and their own company. And so they just bounce from person to relationship because they don't want to be lonely. They are genuinely not happy with just being by themselves. That can also pull you into like a negative feeling and a negative place, and then it can lead to things like depression and just like negative thinking over your life. But like I said, I do understand that sometimes we genuinely do feel truly lonely. Try your best to just love your own company and just find things that make you happy and that you love to do and be happy with yourself. A next major lesson that I've learned is just how important mental health is. As someone who has struggled with mental health in my 20s, and I've talked about this before in some of my past content, but I don't mind sharing it again. I have suffered with some of the worst depression. Even though, you know, every day isn't perfect, every day isn't bright and sunny up here, I'm not where I used to be, and I'm so grateful for that. But I have learned how important it is, and I feel like, you know, a lot of people may I don't know, get tired of the phrase mental health, mental health, mental health, because that's been a phrase that's been thrown around and said so much over the past few years because people have started shedding more light on mental health. And I feel like because it's said so often and it's talked about now so often, people don't really realize, yeah, it's talked about a lot, but it's really important, it's really serious. It's the reason that a lot of people are no longer with us because they took their own life. I don't take that lightly at all. I feel like everybody that needs help should get help. I feel like everybody that needs therapy should have therapy. I feel like everybody that needs someone to listen to them should have someone to listen to them. If you know somebody who has struggled with that, check on them. If you get even the smallest feeling that somebody around you or that you love or just somebody that you know is going through like some kind of mental health struggle and they're trying to hide it, or you just get some kind of idea, check on them and make sure that they're okay. My next lesson is people are going to hurt you. Them doing right by you is not a guarantee. It doesn't matter how good you are to them. It doesn't matter how much you love them. It doesn't matter how much you do for them. It doesn't matter how loyal you are to them. It does not matter. You are going to experience people hurting you. You just are. Trusting people has been a scary and hard experience for me because of experiences that I've had in the past. But I also learned that everybody's not the same. And we can't make the people that are currently in our life responsible for the crap that other people did to us in the past. But my 20s definitely familiarized me with betrayal, people stabbing you in the back, from people I thought were friends, from people that I cared about, relationships, being cheated on. It did nothing but make me stronger and be able to recognize things before they even have the opportunity to get close enough to me to even hurt me. One of my last lessons is having self-love and embracing your imperfections is important. I have struggled with this a lot. I have been guilty of comparing myself to others. I've been hard on myself in so many different ways, whether it's physical, just life, and I still do it. This is something that I'm still working on. And as a woman, I feel like one thing that we commonly kind of like do to ourselves is we compare ourselves to other people, beat ourselves up about like our appearance, or we have to look a certain way, maintain a certain image as a woman or whatever. But don't let society fill your mind with that kind of stuff, because we are all beautiful. And this is something that I'm still working on myself, because I do this to myself still and I wish I could stop. We have to like wear our imperfections and our flaws as like the stamps that make us who we are. Okay, so my last lesson is a huge part of my life. Being at home and being a homebody, there's nothing wrong with that. That is honestly a great thing. Living a slow life is a great thing, and I love living a peaceful life. All of my favorite hobbies are at home. Reading, watching movies, playing the game, cooking, making content. All of my favorite hobbies are at home. Going for walks around my neighborhood, at home. For me personally, hanging like with this person and that person, going out all the time, like just being out around a bunch of people, just going to like crowded places and just going to this scene and that scene and this place and that place and like trying to keep up with these people and this friend group and that friend group. It's like, I can't deal. That does not even fit my personality. I would legit get annoyed. I know from experience, when you're trying to just do this and that, surround yourself with all these different energies, all these different people, it can leave you feeling uneasy, stressed. It can cause you to be spending a bunch of unnecessary money. You can find yourself in drama, because a lot of the times there's so much drama that comes with like a hectic, busy life, and you're like dealing with so many different people. Simple, calm life is the best. Okay, so that wraps it up for this video. Those are just some things that I've learned in my 20s, you guys. Those are like major things that I wanted to share that my 20s have taught me. Maturing and growing through this life. Hopefully some of the things that I said could have possibly helped someone in some kind of way, or just like given someone like a different insight. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. Don't forget to connect with me. Feel free to keep up with me on Instagram as well, which is honestly the only other social media that I really consistently post on. I will see y'all in my next upload.